Players Choice Voting Awards. Shout out to all my gamers out there, all my female gamers, my male gamers, my senior gamers, my younger gamers, my gamers to be, the ones that are still in the testes that have not fully developed. Gaming is going to be such a great experience. It's such it could be a competitive community. There are some people who are some nuances inside the gaming community, but as long as you got some good people around you, you should be straight. You know what I mean? All right, there we go. There we go. All right, so this is it, you guys. This is what we are here for. We was going to talk about some music today, but today just is it's an anime day. It's a video game day. You know, I always want to talk about music all the time. All right. Which is your favorite game of the year? Players' voices 100% fan voted across 3 rounds. Vote up to 10 games this round. Oh, we got a lot. Okay, we got a lot. Okay, we got a lot. So let's start the voting. Wow, these guys started off on the big note. Game of the year: Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3. Wait, no. Hold on a second. Now, this is favoritism right here. There's no way that how Spider-Man 2 can be game of the year and it entered fourth quarter. There is no way that Spider-Man 2 can be game of the year already. I think people just dick right. There was so much hype behind Insomniac Spider-Man 2 because of the possibilities of what can happen. Of course, the introduction to Venom. Green tea break. Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Baldur's Gate 3 is probably going to get some of my majority of my votes just because I just know how good the game Baldur's Gate 3 is. I want to finish the game so badly. I'm not a person who pre-orders a lot of games. There's only a couple of games I've ever pre-ordered in my life. One, Shadow of War, I've played. Middle Earth Shadow of War is one game I pre-ordered, and I pre-ordered the $100 edition. I tell you that right now. I've pre-ordered that game. I did pre-order Spider-Man Miles Morales just because, I'm be honest with you guys, it was a black Spider-Man, and I was like, cool, I want to try to be the black Spider-Man, a different story. The struggle is real. If you're from New York, you lived in Brooklyn, Queens, or any part of New York, you know the struggle is real. So it was kind of relatable to actually, like, you know what I mean, some of the stuff he was going through. And then also, it feels pretty cool going to the monuments in the video game in real life. Yeah, that was fire. But game of the year is going to go to Baldur's Gate 3 for me. Why Baldur's Gate 3? Yo, it's a game you could go back to. It has replayable value. The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom just seems like how another copy and paste to me. It felt like Marvel's Spider-Man copy and pasted to Marvel's Miles Morales, which copy and pasted into Marvel Spider-Man 2. So the game of the year for me goes to Baldur's Gate 3. I just had to go do that. I'm sorry. Best Game Direction, awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. Simplest is Baldur's Gate. Best Narrative for outstanding storytelling and narrative development in a game. Baldur's Gate 3. Yo, Baldur's Gate 3, man. Larian had the best community support. Baldur's Gate 3 just had great communication with supporters, great communication with the community, constant feedback. They did early access Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty. I didn't play it. I did not play Final Fantasy 16. I did not play Marvel vs. Spider-Man 2. I did not play Alan Wake 2. As a matter of fact, I didn't even know there was an Alan Wake 2 until like a month or two ago. Best Art Direction. I'm gonna be honest with you now. I think the best art direction will have to go to Hi-Fi Rush. Hi-Fi Rush has the best art direction because I could see Hi-Fi Rush being adapted into an anime series, and I could see myself wanting to watch 7 or 8 episodes, hoping that these guys make 12 episodes for Hi-Fi Rush. I think Hi-Fi Rush has the best art direction. Liza P was cool, but we've seen it many times from software games, man. Super Mario Brothers Wonder is nothing new. Nintendo doesn't really like to change up too much. Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom felt like a copy and paste. All these guys did was just add a goddamn magnet, and now you could work at Michael's Arts and Craft and glue stuff together, stick stuff together, and create. That's what it felt like, man. Honestly. Even though I have not played Hi-Fi Rush, I like the art direction of Hi-Fi Rush. Best score in music. Baldur's Gate 3. I think Final Fantasy 16 is going to win the best score in music because it's either between Final Fantasy 16 and Hi-Fi Rush. When it comes to combat and somatic scenes, Final Fantasy 16 has that on lockdown. You can always expect great music with Final Fantasy 16. Final Fantasy 16 always has a stellar soundtrack. Hi-Fi Rush is a game that's actually based upon music, like rhythm, keeping up with the rhythm of the game and stuff else like that. So it's actually like a BPM type of video game, or timing, wise. I think Baldur's Gate 3 did good, but I would have to give my vote to Final Fantasy 16. Final Fantasy 16 always has great music. Fair is fair. Best audio design. Okay. Recognizing the best in-game audio and sound design. I haven't played any of these games. I did make votes for games I did not play because I did see myself wanting to play these games in the future that's possibly foreseen. Audio design, recognizing the best in-game audio and sound design. I would have to either give it to, if I had headphones on and I'm playing a video game, what are things I'm looking for? Am I looking for people? I'm looking for the sound of somebody walking, the sound of the shoes stepping on leaves, door opening, creaking, cracking. That's the type of, when we're talking about audio design. I'm leaning towards Alan Wake 2 and Resident Evil 4. Yo, Alan Wake 2 may have it. Best performance awarded to an individual for voice over acting, motion, and or performance capture. Oh wow, yo, this guy is the vampire. This is very hard. Ben Starr, Baldur's Gate 3 or Spider-Man 2. I'm leaning towards Neil Newborn just because I know he played the vampire in Baldur's Gate 3. I forgot his name. I didn't forget his name, but his name's kind of hard to pronounce. Atreon or whatever else like that. So I just put an A. I'm leaning towards that because the performance was quite stellar to say. Spider-Man 2's voice actor is pretty good too. I'm gonna have to give it to Neil Newborn. Innovation in accessibility, recognizing software and or hardware that is pushing the medium toward by adding features, technology, and content to help games be played and enjoyed by an even wider audience. Spider-Man 2. Now the reason why I say Spider-Man 2 is because I remember Sony PlayStation posting up a video strictly just talking about the accessibility options for Spider-Man 2. Games for impact, for a thought-provoking game with a pro-social meaning or message. I've not played any of these games, so I haven't played any of these games. So how I'm gonna base it off? I'm gonna base off which one just looks cooler. This cover looks cool to me, so we're gonna go like that. Best ongoing, awarded to a game for outstanding development of ongoing content that evolves the player experience over time. I have to say the keyword we're looking here for is the player experience over time. So evolving the player experience means additives, new features, nerfs and buffs. I think either Apex Legends, no. I think either Apex Legends or Cyberpunk 2077. I'm leaning towards Cyberpunk 2077. It has made a serious comeback. I'm gonna have to go with Phantom Liberty on this one. Best community support. This is either going between Cyberpunk 2077 and Baldur's Gate 3. As I said before, when I voted for Game of the Year, I voted Baldur's Gate 3. I've seen consistent videos. They have something called panels from hell that I will always view. And the reason why I feel Baldur's Gate 3 is going to win, should deserve this, is because beyond even the community support, Baldur's Gate 3 had a successful launch. It wasn't in a disastrous launch as in Cyberpunk 2027. Baldur's Gate came, it delivered, it did what it's supposed to do, and they still have updates that they're doing right now. And they still tell the community what they're expecting to do. They're active on Twitter a lot. Not to say that CD Projekt Red isn't. Alright, so Baldur's Gate 3. Best independent game. The argument that I've been hearing in the gaming community was that how Baldur's Gate 3 is an independent game. Well, is it Larian Studios is an independent studio. But the type of game that they made just now, Baldur's Gate 3, was not like independent game. It was like AAA budget. But the studio is independent. Larian Studios is independent. It should have been casted an independent game. But I do have Sea of Stars on my Switch, and I do like it. Best debut indie game. I have not played any of these games. I keep hearing about Dredge. I hear about Dredge. I heard about Pizza Tower. I heard about Viewfinder. I've never heard about these two, Venba and Cocoon. Never heard about them. I'm going to close my eyes, even though I have shades on. I don't know what I'm going to pick, so I'm going to close my eyes. I'm going to count to 5, and whatever it lands on, it lands on. Pizza Tower it is. Best mobile game. Honkai Star Rail. Best VR AR. I haven't played any of them, but if I was to play a VR game, I would want to play Resident Evil just because it would be scary in like VR. So I'm gonna give it to that. Best action adventure game. Like I said, I did not play any of these games. I recently had gotten Star Wars Jedi, the first one, for free on PlayStation because PlayStation gives three free games every month. I didn't like that Star Wars game. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna vote for Marvel Spider-Man 2 just because I only see myself playing it in the future when they add DLC to it. A standoff DLC, by the way. So I'm gonna vote Spider-Man 2 because I see myself playing the standoff DLC, and I do see myself playing Insomniac's Wolverine. Best RPG, Baldur's Gate 3. I'm sorry. Best fighting game. I never liked Street Fighter games. I never liked Mortal Kombat games like that. The only Mortal Kombat game I ever gotten was Mortal Kombat 11. And the only reason why I got Mortal Kombat 11 was because one of my favorite anti-heroes was in that video game, Spawn. That's the only reason why I got that game, to be honest with you. And when I got it, I tried to play as him. Then I realized there's over 30 different combos and to memorize left, right, up, down. I wasn't prepared. What is God of Rock? Let me see what God of Rock is. 2023 might have been the year of rhythm games. The reason why I say that is because God of Rock is similar to Hi-Fi Rush. I'm probably going to give this to Mortal Kombat 1 just because best family. I'm a huge Sonic fan, so I'm gonna give this to my man, to the Blue Hedgehog Sonic. Best sim strategy, Fire Emblem Engage. Hands down. Fire Emblem has always been a great series for me ever since I got Fire Emblem on my Game Boy Advance. The first Fire Emblem game I played was Fire Emblem Binding Blade with Roy, Lynn, and Hector. I'm going with Fire Emblem Engage. Best multiplayer I'm giving it to Baldur's Gate 3, bro. Best adaptation. This is good. I think the best adaptation would probably have to go to Castlevania, but I don't like the Nocturne Castlevania. I like the original Castlevania anime one. The Last of Us, I should actually go see that. I'm actually going to give The Last of Us this just because they said they found for season 2, they found her, and I think I'll be more interested in The Last of Us watching it again, and I actually will watch it. Most anticipated video game, hands down, Hades 2. Hades 2, I'm waiting for Hades 2. Best esports event, Evo 2023, hands down. Evo 2023. I've cast my vote.